Coach Nick here. Welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. Today I have my esteemed guest Larry Coon from the NBA CBA FAQ. And I wanted to start out by asking Larry, first of all, how are you doing?
Doing great.
Good, good. We are, by the way, in the Summer League in Vegas, having a great time.
We're in the Summer League. We're actually suiting up and playing.
Yes, we're going to be. I think they might need us the way this is going. So, the first question I had for you, Larry, was, is there anything specific in the new CBA that stands out in your mind that really is going to affect teams the most as it's written now?
You know, there's something from the old CBA that teams just seem like they're discovering. It's like Gilbert Arenas provision. It lets teams give big contracts to guys with 1 or 2 years in the league who are restricted free agents and give them a big balloon payment in the third year. You know, Houston is doing that. Omar Asheik and Jeremy Lin. Word came today that the Knicks are going to not match with Jeremy Lin, apparently. They still have, as we speak, about 2 hours to change their minds. But, you know, Daryl Morey has got Jeremy Lin in insanity to Houston, apparently, by taking advantage of a CBA rule that lets him exorbitantly overpay Lin for that third season, which would send the Knicks, because the luxury tax is progressive now, into luxury tax hell. They're going to be spending, it could be $60 million just in tax, just on Lin alone, and it sounds like that's the reason they're letting him go.
Wow, now tell me, the luxury tax kicks in, what's the incremental kick in every year now?
Yeah, this year it's still dollar for dollar, but starting next year it's going to be going up. It's going to start at $1.50 for every dollar, but that's just for the first 5 million. Then it goes up to 225, and then 275. It goes up and up from there. Every 5 million you go above that tax line, you're paying more and more expensive rate. So it's going to be a killer for teams who are even 20 million over the tax line.
There are not that many teams that are more than 5 or 10 million over the cap,
Not anymore.
Okay.
You know, the Lakers are still up there. The Heat are up in that range. The Knicks are going to be up there. I think the Knicks, but who knows with what they're doing with Lin. The Knicks, I thought, were the one team that didn't really care because they are part of MSG, which is going to be making a lot of money no matter what. And they're the team that seem to be able to take advantage of the fact that other teams are going to want to get down in salary and have to cast off some good players.
Does that explain why the Bulls traded Kyle Korver for a draft pick?
Exactly. The Bulls are really sensitive about the luxury tax, so they're doing everything they can to stay under. They would love to be able to trade Carlos Boozer, but they just can't find a taker for that big contract.
And they're probably not going to amnesty because they don't want to pay somebody for not doing it.
Teams want to amnesty a player when they have a pretty good idea that some other team's going to come in and place a bid and get the guy. That's not going to happen with Boozer with as much money as he has left.
Wow. Well, let's talk a little bit about the little local scene that we have here at the Lakers. Dwight Howard, can we get a straight answer out of you where you think he's going to go?
You know, I thought all along it was going to be the Nets, but that obviously didn't happen. They did try. You know, they kept trying until the Nets backed off. Now they still have to move him. They're going to have to move him. They're not going to go through the circus again. They're not going to start the season with him. But teams are starting to drop off. You know, Houston may be in the lead right now because they could send, they converted their whole roster to future draft considerations, and they can send all of that along with Kevin Martin to Orlando and all their future picks. And get Dwight, take some bad contracts off the hands, and that's going to allow Orlando to start over. Houston would also be starting over because who's going to be left over? They might be in the driver's seat right now because Orlando doesn't care where they send them. They just want to send them to the team with the best offer. But if that doesn't get done, Daryl Morey's going to have to move on because he's got to get his roster together. Then is it Atlanta? They're going to have to move on too. So the Lakers might be in the driver's seat here because they're fine right now. They don't have to move on. They can sit and wait this out. They say, we have Andrew Bynum. We're good with him on our roster. If Dwight Howard drops in our laps, fine, we'll take him. So they'll just wait everybody else off. And then if Orlando comes calling and says, okay, we're desperate now, we got to move him, the Lakers can say, okay, you get Bynum and that's it. Let's see what happens.
Here's my theory, by the way, on that, because if they rent him for a year, let's say Houston gets him to no one he doesn't really want to sign, in theory, they can sign and trade him to a team that would then go over the luxury tax to get him, which they wouldn't have been able to do if they signed that Dwight Howard as a free agent. Is that right?
Right. If Dwight is a rental, and right now teams don't really have indication that he's going to be more than that much of Brooklyn, and that ship's sailed right now. Okay. Everybody's thinking that Dallas is going to be the second choice, and Mark Cuban is keeping his options open. He's getting people on short-term deals, and he's keeping his options open for next year. So what could happen is that they're going to trade Dwight somewhere. Dwight's going to leave as a free agent, sign in Dallas. But that other team has a couple of things. One is they have a year to convince him. Maybe he'll stay, maybe he'll resign. If you're the Lakers, you're saying, hey, we got Steve Nash, we got Kobe, and then after Kobe's gone, you're going to be the man here. And it's in LA, and that might be attractive for him. But even if Dwight's going to leave, that team is going to be able to offer him a bigger contract. They can facilitate a sign and trade. There's a lot of different things that can happen that could make it much fun.
Well, lastly, I wanted to ask you a little bit about, now that the structure of the CBA is influencing the league, is there hope for these middle to small market teams to compete with these bigger market teams that keep seemingly making super teams throughout every other day?
Well, look at where all the big time players are going now that we have a new CBA. Chris Paul, LA. Dwight Howard was looking at Brooklyn, trying to get there, and now LA is a strong possibility. Players still seem to be going to the big market teams. So part of it is that the owners wanted a big financial reset with the current collective bargaining agreement. You know, they wanted a hard cap. They wanted a really low salary cap, a really low luxury tax. They didn't get it. And they got a compromise. And it's not a good enough compromise, I think. There's revenue sharing, but it's not really going to move that much money. It's going to move a lot of money for the big market teams, but it's spread to a lot of small market teams, and that's just going to be filtered out. It's not going to be that much of help for the small market teams. So I think we're still going to see a market where the big market teams have an advantage because they can spend more.
Well, there you have it, straight from Larry's mouth to your ears. Thanks for joining us, sports fans. We've got lots more coming up all week, so stay tuned. And don't forget, at B-Ball Breakdown, we're not a channel, it's a conversation. You in? Are you in?
I'm in.
It's in.